Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing really well. Let me know that you can hear me. If you are joining me live, I would very much appreciate it because I had a few issues just jumping on, but I'm sure it'll sort itself out. Wanted to jump in here today and really just talk about these reporting standards that we've got going on all around the world. I'm sure that if you're in the sustainability space or you're in sort of corporate and governance and part of this sort of movement, then you'll be aware that there is a lot happening in this space. And really, to put it simply, there's about 600 reporting frameworks out there. So let's dive in, right? Today is really to share more about this emerging space, really. So if you have any thoughts, if you have any questions, just feel free to pop them into the comments and I'll do my best to answer. So really, for the most part of time, we've always reported around accounting standards, right? We've reported more under mandatory standards that, what are we doing as a business? How are we growing? How are we getting returns? And how well are we doing through each financial year? And so the emergence of sustainability reporting has been really rapid, which is wonderful, but also quite confusing because there are so many standards out there. And the reason that they emerged is because, of course, this topic has been gaining traction for the past 50 plus years, and it's become important not just to look at the environmental capital, but across all four capitals of sustainability. So, also economic, also social and human, and looking at these four areas and understanding how our business is impacting different parts of these four capitals, across our operations, across our supply chain. And, greenhouse gas emissions is a big part of that, but it's definitely not the only part about this. So as this space has really grown and, it's moved away from just being about investors being able to see your disclosures, but more about impact and how is your business reducing that impact and actually having more of a positive impact rather than a negative impact. And in terms of, who is reporting, well, the biggest companies are certainly reporting. There's about 90% of them, or plus 90%, who are already reporting on their sustainability standards. And it's growing rapidly in the SME space. More and more businesses are realizing that they have to kind of do something about this before they're kind of left trying to catch up, because now there's legislation in place, or now there may be mandates. And that's the direction that most governments are moving towards. So all in all, this space is evolving really quickly, and it's interesting to see. But I guess it's important as well to kind of get some clarity, right? Because it is complex, as I said, and there are a lot of moving parts. So, understanding which is the best reporting standards for you is probably part of that journey. So what I wanted to do, I thought there was a button right here, easily accessible, but it doesn't seem to be. Let me open that up. Now, I just wanted to share my screen and really just show you who are kind of the big players in this space. And this doesn't even cover all of them, really. It's just to sort of show you a little snippet of who are some of the key players in terms of sustainability reporting. And a few of them have been around for longer than others. Some are emerging, but it's really important to sort of know now not only who are the key players, but how are they trying to consolidate and come together and actually report under a more consolidated framework, which will obviously help with businesses and obviously help with so many individual economies coming into a global economy, which is really where we are now. I mean, globalization isn't even a word we use anymore because that's the process of becoming global. We are really global now. We connect with people across the world so easily. We work with people across the world so easily, and therefore, similarly with the sustainability reporting standards, we need to be able to have a consolidated way of reporting as well, in terms of our sustainability metrics. So the EU, hi Pradeep, how are you? The EU obviously have, because they cover so many countries already, the European Commission has their own sustainability reporting standard. Isn't on this image at the moment, but it's the CSRD, and that's playing a big role in terms of sustainability reporting, and many countries deal with the EU. So it's an important one to keep in back of mind. But here I'm just covering the others that are kind of becoming a unified system. So there's the TCFD, which is probably one of the more recent ones, and it sort of emerged through, parts of that experience with the global financial crisis, the Financial Stability Board realizing there needs to be a financial framework in place that is connected to sustainability, that really looks at climate impacts, looks at financial impacts, and then what are the mitigative actions that we can take to overcome the physical risks, the transitional risks, as we sort of try to address the issues around climate change on our operations, on our supply chain. So the ISSB is really the Sustainability Standards Board, right, around accounting, and they're looking at risks and opportunities, and all of the other frameworks sort of feed into it. So you've got SASB, you can see SASB down the bottom here, who have now consolidated with the IFRS and made it the value reporting framework. So the value reporting framework really comes, sorry, I'm getting all of my acronyms mixed up. SASB has come together with the integrated reporting framework to make the value reporting framework. And they all essentially report back into a convening board, or they all connect into the convening board, which is ISSB, that sits in the middle of all of this. GRI has, of course, been around for the longest time as well, which is the Global Reporting Initiative. And essentially, they all come at climate change, they all come at climate impacts from a different perspective, but they certainly follow very similar principles of thinking and are very closely connected, which is why this process of consolidation is complex, but it's also absolutely doable in the medium, shorter and medium term. So it's not one of those, very far off things. It's already starting to happen, which is really great to see. And they're all trying to essentially come to this one place and unify, somewhat like we've done with the UN SDGs. It's a way of coming together and being able to say, my company operates in Canada, but it also operates in Japan, and the reporting standards are very closely aligned. There's not a lot of difference between the two. So it's, across geographies, across industries, across frameworks, be able to consolidate all of this to make it much simpler for businesses, and also, more importantly, less administrative, because I think that's the biggest barrier, is that these frameworks are highly administrative. And so many SMEs sort of pull back from wanting to do this or wanting to even go down this pathway, because it seems like a lot of work. And so what I wanted to talk about today is really, and I'll just share my next screen, is a collaboration that, I've done with another business. So Subcinctus and Zero Circle, we've really come together and wanted to come up with a solution for SMEs specifically, because they're the ones that usually often say no to this, because it is a high resource, a high cost approach to sustainability. And so how can we simplify this for businesses? So we've come up with this way of essentially assessing your sustainability impacts, so your materiality impacts. Another way of saying it is just your business impacts through the 4 areas of sustainability. And really what this level 1 assessment that we're offering here is a way for businesses to understand what are our material impacts in alignment with the GRI standards, and what are they in alignment with the SASB standards. And so when you get this sort of report, it's an online, sort of low cost, but also low demand from yourself as a business report, which really allows us to show you where are your key material impacts across SASB and across GRI. And so you can almost very quickly understand what are the things we need to focus on as a business. And the report really leans a lot on online information, and what we want to be able to do for these businesses, because SMEs often get neglected in this process. What we want to be able to do for them is be able to show them exactly what is your impacts in terms of environmental related topics? What is it in terms of social related topics, so social and human related topics? And what is it in relation to governance related topics? And this is, again, as I said, across the GRI reporting standards. So you'll get, a profile about how your business sits in terms of GRI topics of thinking and the universal standards that GRI really leans heavily on. And then also similarly, you'll get the same sort of report about SASB. And so when you consolidate them together and when you see this report, you're able to kind of understand, okay, well, this is where my business really needs to focus in based on our SASB and based on our GRI profiles. And so what we want to be able to do for businesses is offer something that is, one, just a low cost, because we want to make this an easier barrier to entry, but there is a cost associated because there is effort that is put into it, an offering like this. It's valuable and it's going to actually help your business kind of understand at a high level what are the key material impacts that are clearly coming through from your business operations, from your supply chain, and what are the things that you really need to focus on, so which have a higher priority as opposed to a medium and a lower priority. And so what we want to be able to help you with is maybe essentially simplifying this process, reducing that barrier to entry, making sure there's clarity in terms of what is actually material for your business and where does it align to in terms of GRI, SASB, and how can we directly one-on-one support you. So essentially, I wanted to bring this up today because I think it's directly aligned with the topic that I want to talk about. And so the offer that we're putting forward to all of you here today who are listening and anyone else who watches this later on is essentially it's $500, 500 US dollars for you to be able to do something like this. But we want to make it really easy for those who well, not easy. That's not the word that I'm looking for. We want to make it really helpful for people. And so we wanted to offer the first 5 people who come through, the first 5 businesses, really, not people, the first 5 businesses who come through, we want to give this for free. Okay. And the reason that we're doing this is because we know that this can really benefit your business. And if we can eliminate any barrier to entry, then we want to do this at least for the first 5 people. And so that's why we're offering this. And what you're essentially going to get if you engage in this process is we're going to qualify you first, see if this is actually viable, suitable for your business. Is it the right path forward? If not, we're going to tell you, don't spend your money now. This is the best way for you to move forward. So there's a pre-qualification call. And then we're going to talk about your business impacts. If we go on to the next stage, we're going to talk about where's your business really having those key material issues and analyze those materiality impacts and essentially establish that material baseline for your business operations. So there's that business impact stage. We'll go ahead then and carry out the level 1 sustainability assessment, taking that online information, taking that information from what we discuss directly in the call and align it to GRI, SASB, the UN SDGs. So you get a report that's actually directly aligned with these frameworks of thinking and these principles of thinking. And then finally, the best part of this is you're getting access to niche expertise in this space around ESG finance, around ESG standards and materiality systems of thinking, and also ESG reporting and how you need to move forward as a business. So the best part about all of this is you're not just going to get a report. The idea here is how do we then take this into another level and help you with an opportunity roadmap. So as a bonus, there's a way for you to, there's an opportunity for you to engage in a workshop where we can explore where is that economic value and benefit for your business and what's that strategic pathway forward, because it's all nice to have this report. It looks pretty, but then what? What are you going to do next, right? So what's that pathway forward? And so that's what we really want to be able to support you with. So what I've just realized as well, actually, while I was sharing is I thought that it would continue sharing my screen, but it looks like it was sharing the other image that I had open this entire time. So I apologize for that. I'm just going to open up the report again and show you what I thought I was sharing before. I tend to do this sometimes, so I do apologize for that. But for those of you that want to see it, I'm going to just run through that report again and what it is that's really on offer with this level 1 sustainability assessment. So if you're interested, make sure that you reach out. You can reach out directly here on this post, or directly message me or email me. But this is the report, okay? And this is the offering today, essentially, to be able to show you, what's that material impact, as I said, from your business, from your operations, your supply chain, and specifically, what is that impact across the E, the S, the G, the environmental, the social, and the governance. So this is part of what you get in terms of GRI reporting, in terms of SASB reporting. You'll receive this profile of how your business is impacting through its operations, through its supply chain. And so this will essentially help you to understand, where does your business sit in this sort of spectrum of sustainable impact, and then how can you start to move forward with a pathway that is going to actually help your business lower that impact and actually mitigate that impact through future decisions and through future expansion and growth. So yeah, that's what I wanted to really just share with everybody today. I'm really excited about this because I think that it's a really easy way for SMEs to kind of take that step forward and not hold themselves back, which in the past has always been, or has often been, the case, that they're held back by those barriers to entry and the complexity of all of this. So I hope that that's been valuable for you today. Thank you for those who joined me on LinkedIn. I really appreciate you sticking around with me. Enjoy the rest of your days and your week. And as I said, reach out if you have any questions or thoughts. Would love to hear from you. Take care, everybody. Talk to you all soon. Bye.